This is the end of the day in the Jeffrey Willis case out of Muskegon, Michigan. He's accused of killing a 36-year-old mother named REBEKAH BLETSCH. This crime happened June 29th, 2014 at about 6 o'clock. Ultimately, the accusation is that he pulled up by the side of the road, attacked her, likely with the intent to sexually assault her or otherwise violate her, and that he shot her in the head. We've heard evidence today in the first day of the case of shell casings, which are ultimately said on ballistics tests to match a weapon that the defendant had. Ken Belkin is here with us. He's been patiently listening to the testimony this afternoon. Ken, just wanted to ask your initial impressions of this.
Well, it seems to me that the two cases we are covering right now, Louis Toledo and Jeffrey Willis, these aren't good cases for the defense.
No, I wouldn't want to be the defense attorney in either one of them because I'm struggling for where to go. And in the Willis case here in Michigan, ultimately they're sort of, the opening statements were bizarre. In one respect, they were saying, well, you know, she was supposed to be doing some family things and then those were canceled at the last minute. And she had a couple of life insurance policies. And then they sort of backed up out of that. Okay, because they didn't want to go too far down that road.
I mean, a lot of people have life insurance.
I'm surprised
policies.
that they even went there. And then they started to go down this road that it might be his cousin who was an accomplice in the other murder that he's charged with committing. I mean, they're saying that that's the guy, it's the cousin, it's the accomplice. That's who they're trying to point it at now.
The smell and the taste of desperation here on the side of the defense, it is so palpable. They're grasping at straws here. She had a life insurance policy. I mean, come on. Really? You're going to lump the beneficiary of her life insurance policy in on this? You know, a good portion of the American public have life insurance policies.
Yeah, it did not come across terribly well. So look, we've got a little bit more evidence coming in. We're talking a little bit more about the locations of the shell casings and some other evidence that we didn't know a lot about heading into the case, and that's that her belongings, her earbuds, her phone, and one of the phone carriers that people wrap around their arm or whatnot while they're jogging. Now, those items were found on the other side of the road from the body, as I understand it from the photos that were taken. So, if she's over here, how did those things get over there? And we've heard testimony to say they were neatly piled. So does that say anything interesting?
I mean, I'll tell you this. The only way that this case could be stronger for the prosecution would be if Jeffrey Willis was the beneficiary under her life insurance policy.
It doesn't seem like a good case for the
defense. And this guy looks like what we expect a serial killer to look like.
Well, you look like someone in a three-piece suit. Does that necessarily make you any more or less of something?
Yeah, it makes me look like the guy that would probably defend him.
Well,
hopefully successfully, but I don't think in this case that any defense attorney is going to really pull out a win here.
It's a tough one, but the evidence is circumstantial and there's not a ton of it.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see where things go. Now, this case is going to be back in session in Michigan at 1:30 tomorrow afternoon. The Louis Toledo case out of Florida that we've been covering is in recess until Monday. So tomorrow morning here on Law News, we've got a couple of special segments lined up. One of them is one that I'm working on related to exactly what was going on when the victim, Louis Toledo's wife, reported the domestic violence incident on the 22nd of October. That was the day before prosecutors believe she was murdered. There were a lot of red flags in that interview. We're pouring through the police documents. We'll be talking about that more tomorrow here on the Law News Network. A reminder that we're on the air from 9 until 5, Monday through Friday, or we stay late or come in a little bit early if live testimony dictates. Tomorrow does not appear like it's going to be one of those days, though. For now, this is Aaron Keller, and for all of us here at Law News, have a good evening.